Hi guys, and welcome back to the channel and welcome to yet another fantastic Frieren Friday. Today we're checking out episode number 24. This is going to be a very just intense episode, I imagine. We got that incredible cliffhanger almost ending from the previous episode with Dankin and his group facing off or about to face off with evil Frieren, the doppelganger, the shadow version, whatever you want to call her. She is here. She is a threat and she is a presence that we're going to have to deal with, and I'm excited to see just how we do that. We've got overwhelming numbers, I guess, 4 people versus 1 in Dankin's group, and Veerbell, I'm sure, is pretty close with his little group of 3. But yeah, what's going to happen here? No idea. Very excited to see just what goes down here. Where is Ubel? Where is Land? We never saw them at all in the previous episode, apart from the beginning when they were sitting next to each other. So yeah, let's figure out. Let's see where we go here. I wonder if Frieren herself will face off against this other Frieren. Perhaps. Yeah, there's no telling what's going to happen. I wonder if the room that they're in right now is the bottom of the dungeon, the room that Danken's in, because we saw that purple ominous crystal light up and then for doppelgangers to begin showing up. So whatever that crystal is, it's related to spawning these or creating these, recreating these false images that are very similar to the actual people. The only difference is, in their appearance, they're very shadow like and they don't seem to speak. So yeah, who knows what's going to come next. I wonder if Land will maybe be some sort of weird exception for this because he can create his own clones. So I wonder if there's going to be a weirdness to do with his clones and the shadow things. But yeah, regardless, we're going to check this one out. I'm very excited for it. And yeah, who knows, maybe we'll find the monster, maybe we'll find the demon that is creating these things, or maybe it's nothing like that at all. If you guys do enjoy this video, please leave a like and subscribe if you have not done so already, and comment down below letting me know if you think you could have passed these tests. And yeah, we're just going to check this one out. So season 1 of Frieren, of course, episode 24, let's go. And let me just say that, yes, I know I do owe Ubel an apology. I was very quick to assume that she was the one who was casting the spell, but I figure, context that we had in previous episodes, that it makes sense. But we're going to check this one out. I'm worried but very excited because I think we're going to see some really cool, huge things here. And of course, this could actually maybe be the first time we even see Frieren go all out during a fight, and it's not even the real Frieren, it's an imitation of Frieren who can do everything the Frieren can do. At least from what I understand, we've never seen her actually use even a fraction of probably the power that she has. She defeated Aura without even really having to fight. When fighting others that we've seen so far, she's not wanted to hurt them, so she hasn't really actually done a lot of damage. Anytime we've seen her, defeat an enemy, a monster, a demon, she does leave quite a bit of, destruction within the surrounding area, but I just get this feeling still that we have not seen that full untapped potential of Frieren, especially knowing who she is. So I just really hope that we get to see some of that in this episode, even if it's not from the real Frieren. So yeah, here we go. Where are we? We're starting with Veerbell, okay. Okay, a little bit of flashback. We're repeating the same things that we saw. Excited to see these 3 fight too because they're fighting each other. They're not fighting the same themselves. They're fighting, one taking one, the other taking another, and so forth. Dankin's line right here is so hard. If this weren't a test, I would have broken my bottle long ago. Yep. This is Frieren after all. Terrifying stuff. What is she going to do? Man, I just love the characters in this arc so much. Every single one of them is just like not even all of them are extremely deeply well written or anything at this point. Like, there's no significant depth to some of them, but even still, I'm very attached to them already. It's just a huge credit to the writer of the series. Perfect Replicas, episode 24. The creator of the series has done an incredible job of just take me on this ride. Spiegel the water mirror fiend? What? Oh shit, Ewig the Sage. Okay. And it's that purple crystal, yes. Okay, yes, Einstein, but they're not able to act. Yeah, physical substance, that's a good way of putting it. They just can't speak, is that it? Okay. I like that line of thinking, actually. But why is it only creating individual recreations at times and not full groups? Like here it's Frieren versus 4. Why is it not like 4 versus 4 here? Holy shit. Oh my god. That's just a single blast. Oh, the way they all got out of dodge so fast. Yeah, what are we going to do? We need to get Frieren on the case. Like the guy just said before, an individual can face themselves. Ubel, we get to see you. What happened to Land? Fake Ubel? Stole the... I kind of theorized that maybe they'd start to break each other's, kind of sabotaging. It's not 4 eyes. Whose is that? Is that Land's? A perfect copy. A perfect replica. Absolutely. She's a chatty gal. Oh, we're learning about each other. Yeah, but then this copy does not get chatty, so it's not a perfect replica. That's what I figured. Yeah, that's how you get them to feel without even having to do anything. Absolutely. The new spell you just learned. He's actually full on bleeding out. Oh no. Shit. And he can't use his golem. Ah, shit. Damn. That's some deep shit right there. It's like the Prestige all over again. Is he gonna die? That's really sad. Oh. Here we go, Ubel. Oh shit. Look at them go. Look at them go. I love this. Use the power of your voice. Luck based. But you still got your voice, which she doesn't, so you can use that somehow to your advantage, I'm sure. Do you really want to die, Ubel? Is that something you actually want? Oh shit, what was that? Oh. Oh no. Oh? Oh shit, okay. So that was a clone? Let's go, that was really quick. That was really, really good teamwork. Ah, that's really funny. But yeah, his clones have physical substance too. So, yeah, it really makes you think. Because it's sad. Prideful. That's terrible. But like, yeah. Oh, the thanks. Oh, she's gonna get to learn about your clones very soon. Not entirely. Ubel is going to be like one to really look out for if she can start to learn all these spells so easily. Is there something behind? Is this an illusory wall? Roll into it, see if it moves. Probably treasure. A rare grimoire or a mimic. Pick one. Just blast it down then. You can't find the secret entrance, like switch or whatever. Oh shit, there it is. She's a genius. Oh? This is very, like, Souls-like. I know other things have done this as well, but that's my experience with stuff like this. Oh, look at that. Even the way these blocks are moving is so well animated. Like, there's just so much attention and detail put into this series. It's such a joy to watch. Is it a treasure trove? Oh, history of the world? That's the king? Yeah. And that's an elf right next to them. That's really cool. Oh, Fern's really happy and excited about it. That's very rare to see. I love it. Oh, and Frieren smiling because she's happy. I just love these two so much. That was really cool. Unnaturally smooth, apart from the mimic situations. Oh, shit, we found them. That thing. It's you, Frieren. How does it feel to see yourself? This is getting interesting. Yes. You need a challenge. Absolutely. I love Frieren's response to seeing this. A perfect replica. Does seem to match my strength. Absolutely. Fern and Frieren, just the two of them can take this thing out. Fern? Huh. Restraint magic? Oh shit, really? She can't be restrained? Method with the Sephiroth as her. Okay, we got a blessing from a nice little hug. Yeah, we know that. The way she just hugs back. Was she trying to learn about us? I don't like this. I don't trust her. Yeah, that's what she just told us. Who's Edo? Who is that? How can you prove this thing has a mind? Yeah. Frieren's just gonna go in and fight this thing. Is that Edo? It is. Zensei! They did recreate her! Oh, shit. I kind of like was worried about that in the previous episode. Oh no. Ubel could take it. Ubel defeated a first class mage during the second class mage exam. Then conjuring, okay. You can use what already exists. That makes a lot of sense. That takes a lot, yeah. Yeah. I mean, at least she's a realist. Are they ready to break their bottles? Damn. But you're the only one who can help us down below. By making it kneel? Oh shit, really? That's the assumption we had to make.
15秒じゃ。というかそれが限界であろう。
Oh? Chozo?
防御魔法を全面展開しろ。現代魔法戦において防御魔法を破る方法は2種類じゃ。
Overwhelming
質量
force?
で叩き壊すか、技術でかいくぐるか。手数で攻める輩は大抵後者じゃ。
Okay, so she's trying to slip through. Look at these hair drills.
勘のような重さじゃ。
And it's hair. Did we even last 15
だが目はあっ
seconds?
たの。
Oh?
優秀な魔法使いほど敵をよく見る。ひざまずけ。
Oh shit. Someone just died? It actually just killed her, right?
心の働きを精密に模倣しているだけじゃ。
Oh no.
わしらでは絶対に勝てぬな。
They should have listened to her when she said they should leave.
武闘派連中のところまで全力で逃げろ。わしは潮時と言った通りもう帰る。痛いのはもう嫌じゃ。 便利じゃの。安全確保までしてくれるのか。
It's not perfect. Okay. It does work, okay. I was gonna say, like, she did say in the previous episode, it's still a work in progress. Prototype. That's crazy though. Sensei the pacifist potentially being the cause of someone to die. Like her replica, and she knew about this replica bullshit when she went in, so she knew surely that was a potential of happening.
心がないパターンも考えた方がいい。
Yep.
その場合は力技になるだろうけど。
Oh, and Frieren's excited about that.
そう。
Of course she can, with Fern, of course. Oh shit, new OST? They're both doing the exact same thing, that's so funny.
何を考えてんだかよくわからねえ連中だ。ただ思った通り相性は悪くなさそうだ。
We can do this, we've got them. Take them out.
エールは単純な魔力勝負の殴り合いなら俺やシャルクを圧倒できる。
Oh shit.
だが
Come on, Eddie. Oh, we're taking out the roof. We're crushing her. Oh, she's too focused on the fight, she's not thinking about her surroundings.
どんな状況だろうとな。力技か。
それでしたら、もしかしたら
I knew it! I said last episode Fern versus Frieren, I think.
そう。はい。
Haha.
じゃあ、作戦を立てよう。
I love how confident Frieren is. Oh, it's such a shame that's the end of the episode, but no, I love that. I really do think it's going to be a really fun matchup. We have never seen Fern versus Frieren since like episode 3 or 4 or whatever. And even then it was Fern just learning basic magic, basic offensive magic, like almost for the first time really. Or well, not for the first time, but through under Frieren's tutelage. So now that we get to see her go all out against Frieren, we haven't seen that in so long, and I'm really excited for it. I think it's going to be a ton of fun. I think it's going to be a hell of a matchup, and I really just can't wait to see Fern come out on top. Fern, the one who I still believe is going to be the first class mage after all of this. I don't know if Frieren is going to make it, because realistically Frieren is not really as worried about being first class mage. She just wants to go to Ende. I think Fern maybe cares, and I think she will be the one to get that first class mage certificate or title, whatever they call it. But yeah, that was incredible. I loved it so much. A little disappointed we didn't get to see much more of a fight against Frieren this episode, but I love that we got to spend time with the other characters before we dive into the main event. I think that was the right call, and that was Frieren, episode number 24, with just like more proof and reason that this arc is truly special. Introducing so many new characters, making them all so just captivating almost. Like, I don't know how to explain it, but I am so enraptured in watching them on the screen, no matter who it is. Anytime a new character is introduced to us, anytime we're following someone that we didn't even know 5 episodes ago, like 5, 6, 7, whatever it's been episodes ago, I am just so captivated. And I honestly, like I was saying during this episode, I really think that the creator and the writer behind this manga has done such an incredibly amazing job. And then that also goes to Madhouse for producing this in such an incredibly captivating way also. Like, they took the words and the drawings on the manga and made it perfect on the screen. Like, I can't speak for how the manga looks or how the manga is or anything like that, but from what I've heard from some of you guys in the comments, this is a very great adaptation of an already incredible manga. I can only imagine just how amazing both teams collaborate, you know, the creator of the manga and the team at Madhouse. And that team seems to have understood, from what I've heard, the assignment basically when it comes to Frieren. And yeah, just there were so many points in this episode that were just unnecessarily, I say unnecessarily, but I don't mean that in a negative sense, but they were so unnecessarily amazing to look at. Like, moments that just looked so like fluid and beautiful animation wise. Like, even something as simple as the statues moving and the blocks kind of like moving in place to open up the secret entrance in the king's tomb. That looked incredible. It looked so good. And did it need to look that good? I don't think so, but it's just further proof that Madhouse gets it. They get it. And they have just shown time and time again that they are an absolute beast. They are an absolute force to be reckoned with when it comes to creating these kind of series. And yeah, I have nothing but praise for both manga creator and the animators at Madhouse and anyone else, you know, involved in Madhouse that doesn't necessarily animate. And also, you know, of course, Evan Call, who I have not really even mentioned in so long, because, you know, we're getting to hear a lot of the same tracks over and over and over again now. There's not really been any super standout original tracks that we've heard in a little bit, and that's not me shitting on the soundtrack or anything. It's just, you know, the soundtrack has been so good that I couldn't go 5 minutes in the past without mentioning it, but now that we're just hearing the same tracks a lot of the time, I have kind of stopped mentioning it so much. And that's not that I'm liking it less and less or anything. If anything, it's the complete opposite. I feel so attached to the OST now that I just don't know how to explain it, but I'm so in love with this OST, and I cannot wait to be finished with Frieren, if that makes sense, so that I can go and listen to the entire OST while I edit videos like this. I like to kind of listen to, you know, downbeat, like, you know, vibey kind of music. Like, lately I've been listening to a lot of Studio Ghibli soundtracks, like, you know, Nausicaa, Castle in the Sky, Lapita, like, just OSTs that are more that kind of mood. Like, I don't know if that makes sense, but this OST fits that box perfectly. And I just haven't gone and listened to anything yet because I'm a little worried that maybe I'll hear something that hasn't been played yet. So I'm just anxiously waiting to finally get to the OST and listen to it in my own free time. We only have, I think, 4 or 5 episodes left. This was episode 24. I think there's 28. So yes, 4 episodes left until we're finished with season 1 of Frieren. That I hadn't even thought about that. I can't wrap my mind around that. That just feels so unreal. But yes, the opening, you know, plays right after some recap. So, you know, realistically, you can skip like the first like 2.5 minutes or close to that of this episode, and just to get to the new content. But as soon as we get to that, we find out that the lord of the dungeon is named Spiegel, the water mirror fiend. That is really interesting because I feel like there's mythology related to like mirrors behind like waterfalls and stuff, or maybe I'm just making that up. But I just feel like I've seen this kind of thing before where, replicas are created through, mirrors and stuff like that. Like, I could think of a couple of examples right off the top of my head. One of them being, it's really random and stupid, but Kingdom Hearts 2, in the opening section, the prologue, I guess, to the main game, you're playing as Roxas and you approach this little waterfall-y thing that has a reflection in it, and that reflection creates a replica of Roxas, and it's making me think of that, the way this is worded, speak of the water mirror fiend and stuff like that. Another example that I can think of that I've experienced, not a great example either because there's not really water, but there is rain during the fight. What is it, the Mirror Knight, or I think as it's called in the actual release, the Looking Glass Knight from Dark Souls 2, which creates replicas through mirrors. So I do love the idea that magical mirrors can create replicas, but I don't know if that's just a name that's been given to them or if that is related to how they produce these kind of things at all. We also get mention of Ewig the Sage. Ewig, please, someone in the comments below, remind me where we've heard this mentioned before during our time with Frieren, because it's really bothering me that I cannot recall where I've heard this name before. If it was from Craft or something like that, maybe Ewig the Sage is actually Craft's partner and the name has been remembered, but nobody can associate that name with a face or something like that. It's just an idea. But regardless, this mythical era monster showed up even in Ewig the Sage's heroic tales, we're told. So whatever it is, like, this monster has had a very long life, or at least its offspring, it has offspring or something like that, or whatever it is. But it seems to use this crystal because we see a mural on the wall of two mages. One looks very Fern-esque, I would say, with the hair and everything, and the other being, a dark version of that, so a perfect replica, as it's called. But right in front of that, between the two of them rather, is this big crystal. The crystal, presumably, that we saw in the previous episode right before everything went down here. But we also see like a sun around this crystal, so yeah, I don't know if there's more to learn from this than what we see or whatever, but time will tell. And I love the way they're talking here, where the guy who put together test 1 is like, yeah, this is like the perfect test that Zensei will put together, because she's a pacifist and she's putting these people against one another, opposed to fighting each other. Like, they're fighting themselves, which they're a perfect match for and stuff like that. But we do see that some of them do get in really bad danger here. Like, Ubel at one point almost dies, but obviously she's saved by Land, saved by Four Eyes, as she calls him, and she did seem to know that was going to happen. But even still, like, it's a scary prospect that you don't actually know for sure. But also, there's something she might not have considered, was that she herself would be replicated, and yeah, that's something that ends up potentially killing one of these test takers. We don't know for sure, but I can't even remember her name, but she's the girl who can use hypnosis and everything like that. She had to use her golem to get out of there because she was pierced through the chest. I don't know if she was pierced through the heart, through a lung, anything like that, but it looked very bad. So even still, for a pacifist, why does she enter? Because she is putting others in danger that might run up against her replica. And I did guess that something like that could potentially happen in the previous episode. I'm just really sad and upset that it did happen here, because yeah, like, we got to spend time with new characters once again, and I was getting really invested in watching them, and suddenly that's all taken away from us so quickly. We cut back to Denken and his group, and they just immediately scatter because Frieren lets off this huge blast of magic. It's obviously basic attacking magic, like, there's nothing crazy about it. It's literally just basic simple magic, offensive magic. but holy shit, the way that it is so intense, the way there's so much of it, it splits off and it just looks to do so much destruction. It has me worried, but I'm glad they got out of there, and they're just sitting outside. They wait there for an entire half day, Duncan tells us. So that makes me think then they only maybe have half a day left to complete the trial. And yeah, Frieren is literally the roadblock. She is blocking anything else from getting past to reaching the bottom. She, like, you have to go through her. You have to go through this fake Frieren. There's no way around it that we know of anyway. We know that there are fake doors and everything, but this looks to be maybe the only way forward, because we were told that all these paths, these entrances, end up leading to the same spot, which is down towards the basement, the you know, bottom floor and everything like that. And so this looks like it's the literal point where all of those paths converge. So yeah, how do you get past here without killing Frieren, without defeating Frieren? And yeah, it's just going to be really hard to do, especially what we've seen here where Duncan, Richter, Melody, and of course Laufen, you know, the four of them just have to run away, and they end up getting out of there, and this Frieren is remaining there. She's seemingly territorial. She's not leaving this room. So I wonder if that's something that the water mage, whatever the water mirror mage was able to do, where it makes certain figures take up certain space within certain rooms. Like, they don't leave that room. They've got no mind of their own. They're being controlled essentially, but they have free control over using other people's powers, abilities. It's very interesting the way that the construction of these things has been done, where, like, it's not like Land, where, you know, Land's clones seemingly have memories and have minds and everything of their own. They can speak, they can communicate, and they seemingly feel pain. They feel like there's just a lot to them physically, whereas these replicas, they're not as perfect as Land's, I would say, but their fighting style is damn great at being perfect. But the caveat with Land's is that he can only replicate himself. He cannot replicate others, as far as we know, as far as I know anyway. So that's the caveat there. But speaking of Land, we do then cut to seeing him bleeding out, and I didn't realize until a little while later in the scene that he was bleeding out during this. I thought that he was just really hurt, and it was going to take for Ubel to potentially like help save him or whatever, but I didn't think he would die. And yeah, we see then that the blood is gushing out of him as Ubel is kind of, you know, teasing him and everything, and, you know, offering to give him her bottle so that he could escape. And this fake Ubel literally rushed in, slashed at his chest, and stole his golem, his fake golem, as we learn. But holy shit, like, the way it seemingly happened so fast and the brutality of Ubel just doing that, it's so scary, because Ubel herself says that's exactly what I would have done. Like, that's brutal. And I thought that before we started actually seeing them enter the dungeons, I thought that we would see some sabotage within the groups, where some of them would take each other's golems and smash them, or cause them to smash, leading to their failure and, I guess, disqualification from the first class mage exam. But we don't actually see that, at least not yet at this point. But Ubel did steal this fake golem from Land, maybe thinking that this was the real Land, and this was a way to have him literally die and bleed out without being able to help or save himself. That's so, whoa, like, that's awful. And this is her saying that this is exactly what she would do. Like, what the hell? And Ubel is still learning about Land, and I think a big part of her learning about him was when she asked the clone the question, are you a clone or are you the real one? He says, I don't know, who knows, whatever it is that he ends up saying, that kind of indicates, you know, he's been living his whole life like this. He's not really fit in. He's had to kind of fit into the background. He's been like essentially a clone of himself his whole life, or maybe someone else that he's emulating, that he doesn't even know himself anymore. And I think this is Ubel picking up on that, and I think she's like, okay, I'm so close now to understanding you and empathizing with you, because I can see that you're not in a negative, disrespectful sense, but you're a bit of a loser, you're a bit of an outcast. I think that that's what she is sensing here with him. I think she sensed it long ago, but she's hearing it straight from his mouth, and she's seeing his actions, and she's understanding him a lot more here. So Ubel goes to get his bottle back, and she seems to be very confident here, but she's also, you know, very chatty, and that's something that Lan talks about, that she's very chatty, she talks a lot, and she would be dead if she wasn't talking so much or whatever. It's a comical way of putting it, but I do think that potentially her voice is going to be important if she ever has to face off against another one of these again, because she'll be able to learn a lot or do a lot with her voice, because that's one thing that these cannot do. These replicas with no mind. She tries to take out the replica Ubel by using Sorganile, the binding spell, but you know, it's not to be, because despite how great this looks and everything, and just how fun it was to watch this animated sequence play out, it ends up being the fake Ubel who uses the spell on the real one, and the real Ubel is ready to die. At least that's how it looks. But she suddenly is like, I knew you would come, Four Eyes, blah, blah, blah. And yeah, Four Eyes Land shows up and ends up saving her. And that, yet again, tells you a lot about his character. He could have fled. He was emulating a replica before while he was bleeding out. It wasn't the real him. But it makes you think, do these replicas have their own mind, have their own, you know, way of speaking? Can they do whatever they want? Or does the real one control what the other one says? Ubel, in creating a situation where Land would have been responsible for Ubel's death because she offered him her golem and then rushed in to get his golem back, that put Land in a situation where he had to decide whether he would let her fight and be sacrificed or not. And he showed that he didn't want anyone to die on his behalf, so he rushed in and he saved her. And yeah, she's learning bit by bit a little bit more about him, and I really love this dynamic and learning more about them. I think it's really fun and entertaining. And then we get the Frieren finds a secret room section of this episode, and Frieren just knows that there's something there, and she thinks that there might be a grimoire. Don't know if she senses some magic behind the door or behind the wall, or if she just knows that there's a room and so she wants to go check it out. But messing about a little while, she eventually figures out how to get in. When they get in, they find this huge mural of the king during the Unified Dynasty era, I think it's called, where there is seemingly a goddess queen looking elf with wings on the left coming up to the king. And so I wonder if maybe this king has some relation to the goddess, the actual goddess that they talk about, or if this is kind of just showing that elves have always been seen as this mythical kind of being, and so they're depicted as heavenly, angelic and stuff like that, even during murals and stuff like that. But I don't really know. We're not really given an answer here. But this king, you know, having all these people and animals bow down to him while this elf is approaching him, kind of makes him look like he's super important. And obviously he's the king, so he's going to be super important, but it really gives him more of like, not to use this word just nonchalantly, but like more of an aura, like a strength type thing. I don't know if that makes sense. But we also see like these little crystals floating in the air and everything. Like there's 4 of them per grouping. We see these weird looking trees with crystals and everything too. So yeah, I don't know. I wonder what is to be learned from this, if anything. But yeah, I will do my best to remember this image if we ever see anything like it, or anything that can kind of be learned from this at some point later in the series. And this is an instance where it's Fern who smiles. She's interested and she's excited, and like I said, it's because it's not magic related. In the previous episode, Fern does not really seem to care about the magic stuff. Frieren does, and so they love watching each other be happy in the opposite situations. When there's a magic related thing, Fern loves watching Frieren be happy. When there's a non-magic related thing, Frieren loves watching Fern be happy. And it's just a really happy medium. It's a really happy back and forth. It's really healthy too, I would say. And yeah, they leave then saying that it's been really smooth so far and they're about to head towards the end. And that's when they run into Denkin's group. And there's this question of whether hypnosis or restraint magic will be usable or anything like that. So they're kind of depending on Melody to be able to do that. And she approaches Frieren and finds out that Frieren is immune to restraint magic and that she cannot be hypnotized. So there's this question then if this replica's mind also works the same way and it also can't have those things done on it, or if it even has a mind in the first place to even be not replicated, even to be hypnotized or anything like that, because you need the mind to wander and the mind to be hypnotized in order for that to work. Melody states that Edel, the second classmate who was in the group that we saw, that I talked about earlier, that got pierced through the chest, she has been recommended as someone who is specially skilled in hypnosis magic, who can maybe break through whatever defenses this thing has and maybe cause it to be hypnotized or anything like that. That's the only theory and the only thing that they can hope for at this point, is that Edel shows up and Edel can do this because she's proficient at hypnosis magic. And that's when we cut to Edel, who is with the other bozos, and she's basically saying like, yeah, we should run. We're not going to be able to escape this thing. This Zensei, the fake Zensei, she can use her imagination to allow every strand in her hair to be magical and, you know, do stuff. And she's basically saying that that takes a lot of imagination and that there's no way she'd be able to beat that. There's no way she'd be able to fight that, and that they should just run. But these two dumbasses are basically like, hey, you can do something. So she does. She goes out and basically gets herself killed because she's trying to do something for these two losers because they don't want to quit just yet. We get to see Zensei using like drill hair and everything like that. I think it was pretty cool. And yeah, we also get to see what Edel looks like right before she used hypnosis. You can see her use it in her eyes. Her eyes go from like sort of swirly to just normal looking eyes. And so that makes me wonder then if this hypnosis magic that she can use, if you can only use it once every so often because you need to, you know, have that regenerate that, you know, that look in her eyes and everything like that. It's maybe nothing like that at all, but it's still an interesting thought experiment, I guess. And yeah, she might be dead now and she has to end up using her golem to escape. We get to see just little glimpses of others. We see Lavine and Kane still running around. We get to see Ubel and Land yet again, and we get to see another character that I don't recognize at all, I don't think anyway, wearing like green clothes, and he's just kind of sitting there, you know, rocking back and forth almost, it looks like. Virbel's group are fighting very well, but at the same time it's kind of like a boring fight because they're just hiding behind covers, shooting at each other, shooting magic at each other, and they're not really doing anything unique or interesting. But still, I can't wait to see what they do. I can't wait to see if they show up at the bottom and stay with Frieren and Fern's group or anything like that, because he is a very cool character. I really like Virbel, but you know, sadly I wish there was a little more that they were doing with him at this point right now. But he's seemingly able to outsmart these clones, these replicas, and we're going to get to see just what he finally does, you know, in the next episode. But they're outsmarting them, they're doing all this stuff, and that's kind of then when we cut away and we cut back to Frieren's group, and that's kind of then leading up to the very end of the episode where Frieren's group is saying they need to use brute force, and that's simply when Fern says, I may be able to kill Ms. Frieren. So Fern is stepping up. Fern is saying that she will do this. And that's when Frieren smiles and says, well, then we need to come up with a strategy. She fully trusts Fern. She knows Fern could beat her. That's almost what this is telling me here. She trusts that Fern can beat her. That's honestly crazy to me, but it makes a lot of sense because Frieren has lost time and time again to those that have lower mana than her. It's nothing to do with the amount of mana, it's more to do with all of the strategy, all of the ways that they use their magic, and just all these other external factors that can really influence who wins a magic fight. So that's why Frieren has lost like 11 times or whatever in the past, and Fern is going to step up and make that another one, if you will count it, because it's a shadow version, it's not the real version. But yeah, this was an absolutely incredible, fun episode. And yet again, I'm so excited to see this fake Frieren fight. And I hope that we get to see it in the next episode. I think we might spend some time with Ubel though, because we need to see that resolution before we jump into the main event. But yeah, that's going to do it for me for today. If you guys enjoyed, please leave a like and subscribe if you've not done so already. And comment down below letting me know if you think you could survive any of these trials. And yeah, that's going to do it for me for today. I hope that you had a great day today and that you're able to take it easy. And I will see you in the next one. Take care.